One of the subject matters that I haven't heard a whole lot of talk about in the flat earth community is something that actually is a whole can of worms in and of itself. And I want to open up that can of worms and see what people think. It has to do with the calendar. One of the things that I've discovered through the process of understanding what shape the earth is or is not, and looking into the biblical texts in a lot more disciplined fashion on this subject, I found that the book of Enoch, or Hanok, which I've looked at very carefully, gives fine detail about the structure, the creation, and how the heavenly bodies are placed, what their circuits are, what the timing is, how it's laid out. All of those fine details are there. This isn't new knowledge. It's just now able to be understood. One of the things that happened is I was looking through this, been working on the calendar to try to understand what Yahweh's calendar is, because there's a lot of people who have various calendars, citing various sources, and they don't match up with each other. And I was not satisfied with any of the calendars that I've looked at until understanding the shape of the earth and how Enoch, or Hanok, describes these things. And his descriptions work perfectly on a flat earth. Couldn't make them work before. They didn't make any sense. One of the key elements is, if the earth is flat, how many days are there in a year? According to Hanok, there are 364, not 365 and a quarter. That's a globe perspective, and it has no foundation based in truth. So we have to rethink the calculating of days, years, months, and how that works. Well, the prophet Hanok records all of that, and I'm going to take some time in the future to put up some videos that lays that out. Anybody can do this. You take the book of Hanok and you just write out, graph out all of the details that he puts in there. How the sun cycles move, how the months move, and the days, and what we call the equinoxes and solstices fit on that calendar precisely. And one of the things about our globe perspective is that the equinox and the solstices move around a little bit, and they give all sorts of explanations. Well, they're not on the dates that we're given. One of the things that I have been able to test watching the horizon out of my front and back windows that are facing east and west, I've taken hundreds of pictures over the last couple of years to see exactly the movement in the east and in the west, from the north to the south, of the cycle of the sun. I'll be doing that with the moon in the future as well. But one of the interesting things that you'll find is that as you map this stuff out on a flat earth, they are circular cycles, arced cycles, depending on where you are on the plane, that match up perfectly to how Hanok describes these circuits, and sync up perfectly with what we're able to observe. You may not understand completely what I'm saying yet, but tune in. I'm going to put together a couple of videos that will help explain that, but you can do it yourself. Get a copy of the book of Hanok. I know there are a couple of different varieties out there, but pretty much they all should say the same thing or close to it. Not hard to figure out. You just have to get some graph paper and write 364 days, highlight the gates that the sun cycles through, calculate or just write out the months, you'll see it. And I'm going to be driving through a rainstorm right now, so I'm going to cut it short and touch base with you later.